Hi, this is Sarah Bignall with Yowie Central Podcast, and you're listening to the Bigfoot Club podcast.
Hey guys, please go to our website at www.bigfootclubpodcast.com. Check out our merch and all episodes. Also, please look for our social media at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Bigfoot Club 1. That's Bigfoot Club number 1. Also, check out Matt Knapp's Bigfoot Crossroads on YouTube. Check out our new sponsor. For your Bigfoot-sized coffee cravings, visit cbgindustries.store. They have over 40 products to choose from. When you enter promo code FIRSTSIP, you will receive a discount on your first order. Remember, every moment has its flavor.
Hey everybody, Robert Jesse Dominguez, Bigfoot Club, Season 5, Episode 17. I'm here with my nephew, Steven. Steven, say, what's up?
What's up?
What's going on with you, man?
Not much, man. Just chilling.
Has it been a good week this week?
Yeah, it's been a decent week.
The boys okay?
The boys are all right. The boys are acting up a little bit, but they're okay.
They're 6, man. They're supposed to act up.
I guess.
That's their job.
Twin boys, man. That's I just can't sometimes.
Yeah. I just wanted to say before we get started on this segment, I went this past Sunday to service for my friend Tim Clay that passed away on August 30th. Mm-hmm. I drove over to Dangerfield and we spread his ashes in the woods where he played as a young boy. And I got to meet his brother, his wife. I got to meet his son, Seth, again. And some of his high school friends, and we all had stories about Tim, and we were laughing and just talking, and he was, his friends were showing us like in the woods where they used to go hunting and fishing and all that stuff, and It was cool. They were very welcoming, very good people. I was happy to be a part of that, and say goodbye to our good friend Tim. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
Was it a small town?
Yeah, it's Dangerfield.
So it was like three buildings.
There was like one grocery store, one McDonald's, one donut place. That was pretty much it.
Do you think there's any haunted places there?
Probably. There used to be a ore. I said it wrong. Ore shop or ore factory there. They used to mine for ores. So maybe we could give that to our guest coming up, and which I'm really excited today. Today we have in our club, in our midst, Robbie Brown with Unknow Ventures. Robbie, welcome to the club.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for having me.
Man, we are excited about having you. I just want you to know right now, I'm a huge fan. I got turned on to you by the Ghoul Gals Paranormal. And I know they did a show with you, or they were on with you, or I can't recall, but because we're really good friends with them, and I push them as much as I can, and I know they were doing some stuff, so I looked your stuff up, and I go, man, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Because like you also do like paranormal stuff, and you go to like abandoned places and stuff that I want to do. I want to do that stuff so bad. So.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun stuff. But yeah, the Ghoul Gals, man, yeah, they're awesome. We did a collab at Donkey Lady Bridge. That was our first collab, but I met them at Black Swan. But it was, yeah, they're totally awesome and stuff like that. But yeah, so huge shout out to them. For,
absolutely,
bringing us together, and here we are. So
yeah, I mean, that's cool. You were supposed to be, not supposed to. I was trying to schedule you last weekend, and last weekend you were at where?
Black Swan.
Okay, how did that go?
That was pretty good. We usually go out there every year to the Paranormal Fest. They have events usually a couple times throughout the year, but this one's the Paranormal Fest, and it's usually where you get to meet a lot more people in the paranormal community at this event. And so that one was pretty awesome. There's a lot of vendors there, and a lot of big names, like people that will be on paranormal TV shows will usually be speakers because they have speakers and stuff there. So you get to see some big dogs show up there at these events. So it was fun. There were some big names there.
Right on. Okay. I was going to ask, how did you get started on this stuff? I'm sure our listeners would want to know, how you got started on doing like the abandoned places, the paranormal stuff. What got the itch in Robbie Brown?
Give us the origin story.
Sure. Well, Just like everybody else, I'll just say, we've all had our paranormal experiences one way or another growing up. Even whether as a child, I'm sure we've all had some sort of paranormal experience, and so that's why I think that's why there's a lot of people that are into this, but just up to them to see how far they want to choose to go far into it. But there was a day where I was watching a show on TV a couple of years back, and it's that I don't know if you've seen that show, Paranormal Caught on Camera, and it's a show where everybody just kind of makes videos of all paranormal stuff. I mean, it could be Bigfoot, UFOs, ghosts, you name it, yada yada. And it's a show with a bunch of people from all over the world turning in videos of just crazy things that they see. And I'm, out here in Texas, I'm about 20 miles south of San Antonio, and I grew up in the country, and I've kind of growing up with my friends going through abandoned stuff or seeing creepy things and stuff like that. And I'm watching this show, and I'm like, well, man, why don't I just grab a camera and I try this out? I'm like, I see stuff all the time. Why don't I just go ahead and give it a shot? I've always had a itch for, spooky stuff. So that's where it started. The show actually just helped kick it off. I didn't really have much hobbies going on besides just working all the time. I'm like, man, I really need to get my mind focused on something, and this was it. So that's what got me into it, and that was just over 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and I had to take a work trip to Laredo, and I decided, well, I at the time I was doing videography and photography for realtors, so I had a drone already and some stuff. I'm like, let me just go out and try to make a video, just and experiment and do it for the first time. Let's just go ahead and do it, and that's what I did. I found an abandoned hospital in Laredo, Old Mercy Hospital, biggest abandoned hospital I've ever seen. And then the same day, I ended up at 2 other cemeteries, just going out there, unexperienced, with my hand out there with these applications that you can try to see if there's ghosts. I'm like, touch my hand, let me do all this. I don't know anything about protecting myself or anything like that. And so, that was day one of me ever recording anything. And I have actually my very first ever video still on my YouTube. And 2 days later, my security camera picks up some weird little figure in my house, just like an orb just flying around my house, and it even pictures my cat. It's so weird. And I didn't expect anything like that. So I finally caught what I was looking for, and that's what actually sparked like the passion for it when I experienced that, because it freaked me out. Like I was freaked out. I didn't expect I was going to get what I was looking for, and then it follows me to my house. I didn't think it was real, and you could feel it. I could feel it, and that's what freaked me out. Like I could feel like something kind of followed me home after I did that, and it freaked me out. I actually had a priest come over and bless all my equipment in my house, and it really it just did something to me. And then after I got over it, I was like, man, I want more, and it just kicked off from there.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you did any kind of kind of blessing or like that for you, for protection wise, because Oh yeah. That's good. That's
now I do.
That's good. I was gonna say, like, I looked at a lot of your videos, and I love the drone shots. I think that's amazing. Like the music package you put together, before everything. Because I actually bought a drone, but I haven't used it yet, and so.
Really? What kind did you get?
I have to look at it, because I think I got it off a buddy that bought it. He wanted to use it for Bigfoot stuff, and he needed the cash, so I kind of just bought it. I bought it off of him, and I hadn't had a chance to use it.
It looks like a nice one.
Yeah,
it's still in like
cool
package thing on it, and
we gotta bust it out.
We gotta just work with Robbie on this, and
I know, right? We gotta collab.
Some pointers. Yeah, I give you some pointers. Yeah, I've been flying drones for a long time. I've had more experience with those. Like
it looks so smooth. It looks so smooth.
I've had a lot of practice, because I like to do. Like I said, I would do videos for realtors on the side before I even started doing what I'm doing with the paranormal and abandoned stuff, and I've flown all different types of drones, and I've had a lot of accidents, and expensive accidents, and but after all that stuff, you get the hang of it. And I actually got an award there's like a little YouTube group that meets up once a year, and I actually got won my first award for best drone footage, and so I was actually pretty proud of that.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't doubt it, because I saw one where you were in a abandoned refrigerator one.
Oh yeah, the Frederick's refrigerator factory near downtown San Antonio.
And so
that place is massive. Yeah,
and I saw that you had like some drone footage inside like the warehouse stuff, and I go, that's really good.
Oh yeah, because I fly the Mavic Mini. It's a tiny drone, so it makes it easy to fly inside.
Oh, okay.
Certain buildings, and there's sensors on them. And it's DJI. If anyone's looking to buy a drone, I recommend DJI. They come with sensors and stuff to help prevent accidents and stuff like that. And
awesome.
If you lose it, it tracks it down. But the Mini, I like to use the Mini because it's light. You can literally put it in your pocket and just walk off and stuff like that, and pop it out. And it's easy to fly in and out. I've literally flown it through windows just to try to get those epic shots and places I can't get to. Like when I did a drone video of the abandoned juvenile center in San Antonio, there was no way I could have got to that place. But I had a very successful YouTube video just with drone, flying it over the fence, just getting a few shots and some decent music. But I could have flown it in, but if God forbid something was to happen, and I would have not been able to get it. But those drones can come in handy for situations like that too. So.
I was going to ask, do you whenever you go to these abandoned places, I mean, I'm assuming you do the research whether it's haunted, or you just check them out because they're abandoned.
I usually always do my research. It's something I like to be. I like my videos to have is information and in history as much as I can. There are some of my content will be just like a random raw walkthrough. If I see something and I'm driving through, because when I travel, I'll drive or wherever. Like if I go to another state, I'm getting a car rental and I'm just driving somewhere. And if I see something on the side of the road, I'm gonna stop by it and just kind of give it a walkthrough with what I got. There are times where it's like that, but if I do have the chance to do research beforehand, I always do.
Steven, you have any questions?
I mean, I can bust out those questions now. I mean, unless you want to.
No, go ahead.
No, okay. So, whenever my uncle was telling me about you, I was like, okay, I'm a busy father. I have twin boys, and I made my way to watching your stuff today. And the first thing that pulls up on your YouTube channel was Eagle Pass. And I'm very fond I'm really fond of Eagle Pass because I used to live there when I was a kid, and my stepfather is from there. Actually, my biological father is from there as well. And my stepfather, rest in peace, he passed away there, and so did my younger brother. But I remember living there as a kid. He would drive by that 1905 house. And it gave him what you said on on your video, like the heebie-jeebies. Like he would drive by it, and then he would look. He was like, "Don't look at that house." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Don't look at that house." Every time we drove by,
there's something off about that house.
Yeah,
definitely something off about that house.
And I was never allowed. We were never allowed to go there. He never wanted to go there. My mom didn't like that kind of stuff either. So you were like the first person to actually give a close up of it, and I was like, "Oh wow." And I looked it up on Zillow too. They actually have it, and they have the pictures of the inside, and it just looks super creepy. It kind of gives off the old school, like Amityville horror house, like the stairway.
It does.
And it was just, it has like, I think is it 3 floors or 4 floors?
I think it's 3 floors and then a basement underneath.
Oh gosh. So
yeah. Because it used to have a tunnel system that would go even into Mexico, I believe.
Wow.
They would actually hide, back in the day, I think they would hide soldiers and stuff down there at the bottom, is what I gathered up from some of the locals. Because like I said, if I get a chance to do research, I can. And I had to reach out to a lot of people to dig up what I could. And it's been through a few owners. Some people have died. There's been a lot of rumors of like a little girl dying and drowning in the pool, but no one knows for sure. It's just really hard to pull that up, but it's gone through a few people. When the war was going, I'm trying to remember which war it was, but they would hide some soldiers down in the basement. in the early 1900s and stuff like that. So I know there's a lot of stuff that's happened in and out that house. I'm sure it was used, I'm sure, to help soldiers or as a hospital at some point. It had to be a bunch of things, I'm sure, at one point through all those eras in life. So that being said, the energy there, you could feel it. It's heavy.
Yeah.
I just don't know. No one really knows the full story. It's almost, it's weird. It's, you try to figure out, I try to get answers, but I ended up getting more questions than answers. And so it's a very unique house. I was very close to getting permission to go inside. The owner was almost let me in, but then I think he spoke with somebody or something happened, because the next day he was like, no, never mind, and all that stuff. He saw my video. He didn't say anything about it, but he saw the video and he thought that was good enough. So
did you ever find out what because on the beginning of the video, when you're walking on the side, you look up and you see like there's like the top, one of the top floors, like rooms and balconies was like caved in, and there was like something over that, like something that was like used to, I don't know, bring a well down or something to something. It was like some type of pipe. Did you ever find out what that was?
No, I think that's like the top floor.
It was the very top floor. Yes.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, it must be to drop something. I'm not too sure. I know it has to have some historical. It has to be something these old houses used to have, or something back in the day. I'm not too sure what it was used for, but I'm pretty sure that had to do something with those houses back in the day.
Yeah,
of that size.
I thought that was cool. You did a lot of
it was pretty cool.
You did that one. You did like another, like it was like a law office building that was in the 1800s. I think it was like 1887.
Andrea's law office.
Yeah. And you, I'm pretty sure I passed by there too, because that I lived in Eagle Pass for about 2 years, and I visited there when I could to see my stepfather and my brother. It's just one of those things where I was like, wow, he actually, of course he did. I mean, because you're in San Antonio, a lot of people go from San Antonio know about Eagle Pass. A lot of people from Eagle Pass either are from San Antonio and they wanted to get away from the big city and they wanted to move to a smaller town, which is Eagle Pass. And
sure, in 2 hours, it's not dramatically far.
No.
I mean, it's down the road.
Yeah, so. It's down the road, and it's back in the day whenever I lived there, and that was back in 2002, I think 2003. Yeah. It was a very, very small town. Like it just had it had a mall, and like you blink, you miss it.
It's insane. It's insane how it's grown.
It's exactly. So the last time I was there, I was like, wow, like they actually have a lot more suburbs and like a lot more built houses and stuff like that. And so it was really cool that you were able to experience it. Is there another place? Because from what my stepfather told me too, like he said there was a lot of places that were pretty bad that he was just not a fan of. And I'm trying to remember one of them.
There's a lot of history.
Yeah,
there's a lot of history there.
A lot of history there, and one of them was the one that you researched, the 1905 one, and then the law offices one. I'm pretty sure that was one of them. But he was like, there was a lot of roads and a lot of like I guess buildings that he was just like, nope, not looking at that. No.
Yeah, he didn't like paranormal stuff.
He did not like paranormal stuff.
No.
He didn't. Yeah, it just rubbed him the wrong way.
I wonder if he had a bad experience or something. Maybe.
I wish he was here so that way I could ask him that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was probably
something.
He probably didn't tell you about it because he probably didn't want to tell you about it. He probably didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no.
Maybe so. I mean, if he was scared, something might have happened, and he just doesn't. He was just being safe and didn't probably want to play with it.
Yeah.
That's understandable. I mean,
yeah. But that's cool, man. Like that's really cool.
Yeah.
You plan on going back to Eagle Pass and doing more research there?
Yeah, I also do small pieces on cemeteries, and I'll post usually my video or a link to a video and photos on my Facebook. But the video is not necessarily a YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's to Newsbreak. I don't know if you heard of Newsbreak. It's like a news platform, and it's pretty good. And I like to post videos there because they do pretty good there. But anyways, I post those videos there that you won't see anywhere else. And I actually have a video of a cemetery I did in Eagle Pass that I have to post. So I do videos of cemeteries, and I have been wanting to do one there or post one there. But actually, I also did a video at what is it called, the barracks, the infantry barracks.
Infantry barracks.
I'm not familiar with that one.
No.
Hold on, I think I got the. Okay, yeah, the Fort Duncan Infantry Barracks. Fort Duncan.
Okay.
In Eagle Pass. You know which one that is?
That might have been one of the places that he didn't probably want to.
Or even drive by.
It's Fort Duncan. It's got a lot of historical value. People do photo shoots there and stuff like that, but it's got the whole shell there, and it's supposed to be known to be haunted. And there's like a Fort Duncan museum and everything to go over the history and stuff like that. So I did a video there. That place is it's supposed to be pretty well known. So
yeah, I mean,
but yeah, lots of history.
Yeah, so the many times that we obviously lived there. He was not.
Yeah,
he didn't show us that. He just showed us like,
Sure.
He was probably just showing you areas that he would have to drive to get past it.
Yeah,
and he probably wouldn't go out his way.
One of them was that house, and we had to pass. For some reason we had to pass by there all the time, and he would try to avoid it as best he could. And I just wish he was around to at least say something like, "Oh yeah, I saw something there," or I don't know. It just did not match his vibe. It was just you can tell he would tense up when he would drive by there, and so it's that's really cool.
Yeah, no, Eagle Pass is great. There's a lot of history there. I do plan on coming back.
Nice.
Awesome.
To do some more stuff. So.
Robbie, I was going to ask you. I did a show last season at Goatman's Bridge over in Old Alton Bridge.
Yeah.
And what is that?
In Denton, Texas.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I noticed that you were there too. I was wanting to get your take on it because I think this is probably the first one that I can compare. I can compare senses or so. How did you feel whenever you did your investigation there?
It was, we got there at nighttime, so it was already dark, and it's crazy because the amount of people that go in there and come out just to experience that stuff. So there was a few people there, but it was dark, and it was the woods mostly that had a certain vibe to it. There was definitely some energy going on. It was very active, high energy. So much energy, it was hard to figure out what was what. So we walked under the bridge. I mean, candles were lit already underneath the bridge. People were making weird noises. There was some weird guy walking around there with the dog. So we're just brushing that off. We go to the woods, and then we see some voodoo stuff in the woods, and somebody had real bones and stuff tied up, some voodoo thing ritual. It was in a tree, and I was with another YouTuber there, and he's real godly, and he went ahead and he was I rebuke and all that stuff, and he broke it apart. But it was crazy. I mean, that place, the woods, is what really kind of got us creeped out. That's where we found all that weird stuff, just right by that bridge. You could tell people were doing rituals there or something, because you would see a couple of pentagrams and stuff here and there. And so there's energy there. I mean, it's not just a ghost story or myth, and it might not have anything to do with the Goatman, or it may, but nevertheless, it's something's going on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say whenever, because I went with because I also run a Facebook paranormal page, and I went with all my admins, and one of them is a witch or a warlock or something, and. I went with these other two coworkers that were admins. So at that time, I was, I'm sure you don't know anything about it, but I had gotten sick in 2021, and I was paralyzed. And then I learned how to walk again. And at that time, I was barely walking on regular pavement. So I had a hard time with the footing. So I didn't get to go and experience the woods. But I was on the bridge most of the time, and I went under the bridge. It was a hard time for me to get under there. But once I did, there was a lot of teenage kids there whenever we were there, because we went on a Saturday, and we should have gone during a weekday. But there was a bunch of kids there, and so the vibe was kind of weird. I think I got one EVP, and I was like something shouting, like I was talking to somebody, and someone was shouting next to him, and there was nobody next to him. And there was this group of kids that were there, and one of them just kept staring at me. And I felt really weird by that. And I was talking to my friend Scott Perry. He's a warlock, the witch. And I go, there's something wrong with this dude. And he goes, yeah. I kind of sense it. And then he had what did he have? He had a spirit box, and then he had I think a EMF, and it was a temperature gauge as well. So he was talking to both of these, and he was getting the EMF to respond to questions, yes or no. 1 beep for yes, 2 beeps for no, and it kept doing it, and then it started doing it on the spirit box. So he turned off the spirit box, and then the spirit box kept going. And I go, is it supposed to do that? Is it supposed to beep? And he goes, no. I go, no, it's only supposed to scan for frequencies. I go, it's beeping. so it was beeping, and it was kind of weird because he was sensing something there that he said it was ancient, and he couldn't tell whether it was a demon or not or whatever. And so he was just saying, he was talking to it, and he was he was like doing these chants to make sure we were all protected and stuff like that. So I had that, and it was kind of cool. But I didn't feel that much except for that one kid staring at me. He was kind of weird. But
that's weird. That is weird.
But
that's weird on different levels.
Yeah,
I think he was just trying to be creepy.
Yeah, I think so.
He just might be just a creepy guy, man.
Yeah,
He's just one of those regular creeps. Don't worry about it.
So, and also you've been to some places that I mean, it's on my bucket list. The Clown Motel,
cool.
The Stanley Hotel. So talk a little bit, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about the Stanley Hotel.
Stanley Hotel was probably one of my most favorite trips I've ever done, only because I stayed a good, 4 nights, 5 days in Colorado.
Nice.
The whole trip was awesome. I flew into Denver. I was going to do a video of the airport because all the rumors.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
Seeing Lucifer, I even have a little clip when I'm driving away. My buddy picked me up because he drove from Texas all the way over there to Colorado to go in on the fun, because there was an event that we were having over there, and so one of my buddies, he drove up there and picked me up from the airport, and as we're driving out, we could see Lucifer, the big old blue horse, that metal horse. I don't even know if you know that horse, the original creator of that horse, died from that horse. That head wasn't fully attached, and it came off, severed his leg, and he bled to death because it cut his main artery. And then his kids finished the horse and then gave it to the airport. It's insane.
Talk about Godfather.
I'm telling you, and then all the underground bases and everything that's supposed to be under the airport and the whole shebang. I wanted to do all that, but everything, they were supposedly, working on stuff, they say. So a lot of stuff was blocked off, and I couldn't really get much. But that's where I landed, and when I got to Denver, I actually did a video of at a haunted mansion. They call it the Marijuana Mansion now. It was bought out, but the mansion used to be a law office, which was the actual office where they made marijuana legal for all of Colorado in that office. But now it was built in the 1800s. So I did an investigation there before my other ride picked me up and drove me all the way to Estes Park, where Stanley Hotel's at. So we hung out over there, and it was pretty awesome because when we got there, they give tours there, 2 tours for a ghost tour. And I guess they had just finished up one, and I hadn't got there. And when I had got there, I saw one of the employees. He had finished up. He was talking to one of the guests, and he was trying to remember the name of a paranormal tool. And I told him what it was, rudely interrupting his conversation. And then he started, continuing talking to me about it. I was like, yeah, I heard you talking about it, and I'm actually here just to do some paranormal stuff. And he had just bought a gadget, it was one of those infrared things, and he was dying to use it. And he's like, I just finished up a thing. He's like, come down here at so-and-so, and well, I'll get you into the concert hall. and then I'll show you around. So that's what we did, man. After he finished up his tour, I didn't have to pay for a tour or anything. I had my own single guided tour all the way to 3 a.m. And so we investigated, man, the whole Stanley, and then lo and behold, I see him again the second night, and he's done it. He's ready for some more. So we did it again the second night, the Stanley, inside and most of the buildings. One building we actually had to wait before we go to the concert hall because there was an elk in the way, and we had to wait because that thing was the size of my truck. And they say you don't want to get too close to these elk.
Right.
It was a pretty cool experience, though, just to see this massive animal as you're just trying to walk through this beautiful historical, beautiful hotel, and you're just trying to catch some ghosts. It was just, the moment was just incredible. But 2 nights in a row, Stanley Hotel. I got some incredible evidence there, and it was one of the most beautiful places to investigate at the same time.
Creepy
with
too.
And with all the history too. That was just a plus. You get to see all the history, the house, that quality of Victorian, mahogany and the wood and all that stuff just laid out across the hotel, just to see that stuff. It's super cool. And how they had the maze, how for The Shining, the movie The Shining, after they put that maze in, I think after that movie, but it was still a pretty cool touch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, it was pretty awesome. And then after that, after my second night, my other buddy came and picked me up, and then we drove a totally other direction to Colorado. We went to Nevadaville, Colorado. We hit up some other just in the middle of nowhere Colorado towns, looking for ghost towns, and you get to see all these cool old rusted mills like in the mountains and far distances. And I even saw one of those carriages, like on those wheels, somewhere like in the mountains somewhere. Like we're just like literally in the middle of nowhere, Colorado. And in a matter of 4 days, I at least covered 30-40% of Colorado, just driving all over the place, exploring and paranormal stuff. I got a couple videos out of it. It was probably, like I said, one of my most favorite trips for Unknown Ventures so far.
Did you whenever you go to a place like Stanley Hotel, the clown place, and these other places, do you ever get like nauseated or headaches or lightheaded?
I did. The worst one was at Black Swan.
Okay.
Right here in San Antonio, and I say right here, but even though I'm like 20 minutes out,
right,
I reside. Black Swan was pretty hardcore. And that one has actually been on a couple of paranormal episodes. I think it's been on the one with Osborne's son. I can't remember that. That's on top of my head.
Jack.
Yeah, he's. I can't remember that show.
It was called Portals to Hell.
That one, and then Ghost Adventures had been there, right. And I think a few others. But the Portal Room, that's where it all started. I was doing an investigation. I got some sweet order action. I got REM pod activity. But then I started getting a migraine in the Portal Room, like bad migraine. Like it was killing my head. We moved it to the living room, and it's also a pretty active, heavy room there. And the headache wouldn't go away. Then I started getting anxiety at the same time, and I'm catching these orbs at the same time. And I'm just getting drained, and it was so weird. It's just like you see on the shows. You literally walk out of the house, and it's gone, and it's gone. Like it's gone. It was super heavy. Something was draining my energy for sure.
It almost makes me feel like maybe somebody in a past life has gotten maybe shot or stabbed in the head there. And maybe you were taking on that feeling,
pain.
Yeah, that pain.
Yeah.
So
and there's so many things that it could have been. And when I started getting hit with that anxiety, I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. Like it was all happening, just piling on top of each other. I was like, it was very overwhelming.
So that was
Black Swan ends. To affect me in that type of way, yeah, Black Swan is probably the only one that's made me do that. I get asked all the time, like, what's my most scariest place and stuff like that. It's really hard to say because I haven't actually been totally scared to like where I pissed my pants or something. But I've been spooked a lot, quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's at the same time, it's not easy to spook me.
Right.
But I have been spooked a lot equally. I would have to say in a couple of places. Yeah.
I was just going to say it's probably more spooky, like especially if you go to to abandoned place, it's probably more spooky to run into like a angry homeless person or something.
Yeah, that's actually probably the most scariest thing that can happen, because I have heard of explorers being shot or even killed. Sometimes these people have arrested needles or whatever, and you don't know what type of homeless people you're running into. I've ran into, I think it was one of the most smallest abandoned places I've ever explored was an abandoned dealership in San Antonio. I ran into 5 homeless people. It was insane. In the dark, pitch dark. One guy was on the couch, wouldn't even move. I went upstairs, saw 2 guys just in garbage, trash piled up. It was just, you just never know what they could do. Luckily, they were just chilling, and for the most part, they're nice. And as long as you got a couple bucks, sometimes they're happy. Or cigarettes. I've seen these homeless guys go crazy for cigarettes. It's insane.
Wow.
But as long as you have something that, give them and stuff like that, they won't bother you.
Right.
But sometimes, you're walking into their house and they don't like that.
Right.
And sometimes I've seen it go bad, or I've heard it go bad.
So do you have that? Yeah. Do you have that, I guess, handy now? If you give me a couple packs of cigarettes, maybe some.
I usually keep a couple bucks on me. I've been thinking, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I've been thinking about buying a pack. But it's been a while since I've been on an abandoned exploration for a while. Mm-hmm. But I always make sure I keep a couple bucks on me. But yeah, that's probably the number one thing that can freak anybody out. Somebody sneaking up on you, or going to stab you, or it's just the living is more scarier than the dead.
Absolutely.
Do you carry protection by any chance?
Yeah, I have a knife that I carry with me,
okay.
and I do have a gun. But when I'm going into places like this, I don't think it's a good idea for me to carry a gun, because there are times, yes, I do trespass to get some good content.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I wasn't going to ask that question.
Well, I do, and as long as you don't get caught, you're really not going to get in trouble.
Right.
But if you do get caught, then yes, you can get in trouble. Because, for an example, when I did the Splashtown video, it was one of my most successful YouTube videos. It was even put on the news and the whole shebang. But then I noticed that because when the news has a clip, they'll put it on their website and you can kind of rewatch it.
Yeah.
And I had somebody tag me like, "Hey, you're talking about your name. They're showing your Unknown Ventures on KSAT 12 on San Antonio News." I'm like, "No way." So I went to the thing and I saw it, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" They have my photos and they even have my face on there. It's like, that's badass.
Free advertisement.
And then and I started sharing the link. Yeah. Oh, dude, I gained literally just 1,000 extra YouTube subscribers off that. It was my best YouTube video and the whole shebang, and it did good. But I went back and I shared the link, and I noticed that it wasn't there anymore. And I emailed them. I was like, "Hey, the people that emailed me to see if it was okay."
Yeah.
Because I thought they emailed me. I thought they were just going to share photos on their Facebook, but they ended up putting it on actual television. But I emailed them and I said, "Hey, what happened to the video?" Like, "Oh, we had to take it down." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Well, the owner of Splashdown called and said you didn't have permission to be there, so we had to take it down." I was like, "Well, yeah, duh."
Those bitches.
I'm an explorer. That's what I do. But at the same time, I didn't see any no trespassing signs.
Right.
So, so I just decided to make my way in. I didn't see private property signs, and I didn't see no trespassing signs.
Yeah, because I noticed.
Usually,
I noticed in your videos.
That's a saver.
Yeah, I noticed in your videos that you do that. You try to show that, and if it's not there, oh well, it's free game.
Yeah, pretty much. And if there's an opening, I mean, there's one thing I won't do. I won't vandalize a property to get inside. Like, if I can't get in, I can't get in. But if I see an open window or an open door,
right,
I'll get in. But I'm not about vandalizing. And plus, that's why I make it clear on my videos too. Because if somebody says, "Hey, you trespass," which I've actually been down that road. There was a house I also did in Malakoff, Texas, and it was an abandoned. I mean, the place was about to fall down. But the lady found out I did the video there. She got mad. I'm going to get the sheriff, blah, 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 blah. But in the end, when somebody does that, the judge or whatever, whoever looks at it's really going to look at this complaint and going to be like, well, I mean, you're talking about a trespass that's already done. We're going to put this in the back of the list because honestly, this is not that important of a blah, blah, blah. And to make things even sweeter, I post everything on my YouTube video. I documented the whole thing. There's nothing showing that I vandalized. I'm there for just research purposes, I guess you could say. So, and like I said, you can't get in trouble if it's done, but you can get in trouble if you're getting caught doing the thing. Right. But like I said, it's not all the time. It's just sometimes. And it's got to be like, I got to get inside. I got to check this place out. Kind of like with Splashtown or if I see a super sweet old Victorian house on the side of the road.
Yeah, because like
sitting like a time capsule.
Yeah, like at Splashtown, you went there as a kid, and then you took your family there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had to get in there.
Oh yeah, because they had already torn down one slide, and when I walked in that place, the guy was. I was approached by the workers 10 minutes after being in there, and they were driving around through there, and they're like, "Y'all can't be here." I was like, oh. They saw the cameras in my hand. I'm like, "Well, I'm just here. I heard it was getting torn down." He's like, "Well, you got 10 minutes, and you never saw us." And I took that 10 minutes, man, cool. And it helped kick me off too. But it was awesome, man. It was awesome just to see that water park. Like I've been about 3 abandoned theme parks already in my life, and they're all awesome, man. I love abandoned theme parks. They're creepy and they're just so cool to look at.
Right on.
But never any activity, right?
I mean, not so much. I haven't really got to try that out. That would actually be pretty cool. I haven't been at one at nighttime, but that would actually be pretty fun. And another one I've always wanted to do is do a paranormal investigation at a junkyard, like a car junkyard. Mm-hmm. Just thinking about all the bad accidents that could have happened in those vehicles, or mafia things, or people in trunks, or whatever, man. Like I've never seen something done like that.
Yeah,
definitely homeless, probably.
I would like to try that out.
Robbie, I wouldn't do the show justice if I didn't ask you about what are your thoughts on Bigfoot?
Bigfoot. Yeah, Bigfoot's part of the paranormal world, and I'm not too sure what to think, because I've heard stories, so I don't rule anything out at all. So, and I've even heard of Bigfoot sightings here in Texas.
Yep.
Even and I'm familiar with Jefferson, because there's some places I want to go with paranormal investigate over there. But I've also heard there's been sightings in that area in the east part of Texas. But it's something I've always wanted to do. I've actually wanted to do a video on a Bigfoot hunt, like to go out where he's known, where there's been sightings, like a well-known spot. I've actually talked about this with several people throughout the last year, about doing something like that. But it's never been, like planned.
Well,
but I do want to try it, because I do have questions about that. I have, want to experience what it's like, trying to hunt down a Bigfoot or something like that.
Right.
Because I think it's pretty cool. I'm intrigued.
You're talking to the right guys.
Well, and you guys are where at again?
We're in Dallas. But most of our research is out like in East Texas. And
dude, right on.
So East Texas, there's this one spot that I want to take you to. There's a couple, and there's one, and it's like north of Tyler. It's called Big Sandy. Okay. And I took Steven there when he was really young, and I took him out there with a paranormal group, because we were trying to recruit other like paranormal people into Bigfoot stuff. So we had like a meeting over at I think it was Jason's Deli or something in Tyler.
Yep.
And we had like a presentation, and these paranormal guys, they took us to this area in Big Sandy. It was kind of remote, and it was a Civil War cemetery. It was like a slave cemetery.
Oh yeah.
And so I had known we had, there were like Bigfoot activity in that same area, because I've seen it on other like Bigfoot sites and stuff like that. So we end up going there. The paranormal group does their whole spiel, and then afterwards we do like a couple calls. We do a couple tree knocks, and within like 5 minutes we're getting called back. And then we were having rocks pelted at us, and we had like eye shine in the woods adjacent to us, and then as soon as we get these eye shines, we get pelted by rocks from across the street. And as soon as we turn away, these eye shines, they like take off. And so, so we had a lot of activity. And I think I went back, 2 seasons ago with my old co-hosts, Chris Collops and Ash Tucker, and I took a K2 meter with me. and there's no like electrical lines out there at all, Robbie. And we were getting 20 milligauss out there the whole time.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we were getting 20 milligauss out in this cemetery, and then we ended up getting a couple calls back, but they were kind of too far to figure out if it was a coyote or it was like a Bigfoot or something. And then
that is crazy.
There's one story that I did, and I think it was season 1. It's in Longview. I don't know exactly where it's at, but I think I can figure out where it's at. And this Bigfoot was really, really aggressive to this guy.
Really?
Yeah, it was really aggressive, and it kind of pushed him out of an area. And he was kind of telling me, because he used to be a wrestler, and he wrestled Andre the Giant.
Oh, cool.
And he said this thing was like 2 Andre the Giants shoulder to shoulder. And he said when this thing stepped into the woods, it said the woods swallowed it up. And he said these trees weren't very big, and it was he should have been able to see this Bigfoot in the woods because these trees weren't very thick. And he said once it stepped into the woods swallowed it up, but he could hear it. He could see trees moving, like it was shaking trees, like it was shadowing him out of an area. So this one area I want to go find, and it's like that's a Bigfoot's researcher's dream, is to have an aggressive Bigfoot come out so we could like film it and stuff. So
yeah, and hey, having a drone guy there, just saying.
Does your drone have like
infrared?
Yeah, does it have all that?
No. If you want to get an infrared drone, man, I'm telling you, better be ready to drop like $10,000.
Wow!
Because just the camera alone could probably buy 2 of my drones. Because just like that camera attachment. That infrared for a drone that's
crazy.
Because it has to infrared from a very long distance, and it has to be extremely powerful. I've looked at some of them. I have to get a bigger Mavic DJI. I have to get a DJI Mavic Pro if I wanted to get the infrared. It's very pricey, but I've thought about when it comes to the Bigfoot, I've even thought about that with my drone using infrared, because that would probably be the only way to get a really good reading or accurate sighting view. I would imagine the infrared, because even in daylight, I mean, based off, what we've known about Bigfoot being the color that he is, he's very good at being camouflaged. Mm-hmm. And so infrared is probably one of the best ways, I would personally think.
I would just think that, if we weren't able to take you out, I know lots of other people who probably could. And know that, because I'm not from that area, but I did a lot of research, and then like I was saying, whenever I got sick, it was hard for me to get back and walk on rough terrain. It was real difficult for me. So I haven't done it in a while, but I know all the areas, and I've done it for like 20 years. So I know lots of areas in East Texas, and they're all over East Texas. So
I want to try that out so bad.
I think the Goo Gals want to do it too.
Because when we told them about the cemetery, and they were like, "Let's go!" Like, we're going.
Yeah, it sounds like a really epic collaboration here. I see an awesome collaboration between 3 teams.
Yep,
absolutely.
And we always bring that story up about the Big Sandy, and it's something that I think that's where my adrenaline kicked in. My itch for it, because not only there, I'm only there for the Bigfoot, but there was also like the cemetery part of it, and then there's just the thought of like, man, I'm gonna see a ghost of a slave or something that I just do not want to see. Like I'm not ready to see something, because I was always scared. Like, if I'm gonna see something, I'm gonna act differently. And then the possibility of seeing that and a Bigfoot, I mean, I would have to probably go and get a lotto ticket after that. Like, damn, like,
I mean, but like at the same time, Robbie, I took him out, and that's probably was that the first time you've been out there?
It was the first time being in the cemetery.
Yeah. And I told him, I go, man, you don't get that the first time, because I mean, there's been some areas where I would go, Robbie, and it would take me like 3 months just to get a Bigfoot close enough to try to figure out who I was or what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And they would just, if they don't want to be seen, they're not seen. And if they're curious, they'll come out. And if, it takes a lot of work. I mean, it's like doing a research in the area. You're not going to always get ghosts the first time. You might get something, an orb or something. And then
I think for Bigfoot, they're gonna show themselves who they want to show themselves.
absolutely.
And I think it's rare, and I think they're picky, very picky.
Yeah. There's
So
also,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're right.
We should tell them about that place too, where we went in Concho, where we pulled off the side of the road, and that was whenever Sulphur was getting like kind of like I think we need to leave. Right across the street from that. Remember, there's that.
They have a school there too, and they got portals there, but it's this area, and it's north of Oklahoma City. It's called Concho, and it's run, I think, by I'm probably going to get this wrong. I think they were Caddo Native Americans.
I think it's Caddo. Yeah.
And there was a story of a Bigfoot that went behind a casino and drank out of a grease pit. And so me and this guy that was doing these documentaries went up there to go try to see the video. And the casino people, they were run by the locals there. They didn't want us there because we're native and stuff like that. And so they wouldn't show us the video. So we drove all that way. I said, well, we're here. Let's try to talk to people in town. So we had to get permission from the elders. We had to do paperwork. We had to have a liaison with us. And so we drove into town trying to talk to locals, and nobody wanted to talk to us. The only person that would talk to us was Native Affairs tribal officer, and he only talked to us if we turned off our tape recorders. And so he ended up talking to us and said, yeah, they're here all the time. And they had like a school there that was abandoned.
It was an abandoned school that when I looked at it, I was like, what? That looks like the heebie-jeebies. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
Sulphur was like, yeah, we that place is real bad. Like it's got bad juju on that.
It's got portals and stuff like that.
Portals. I go, nope, I'm done.
Crazy.
Like I'm not. I don't do portals. I don't do anything that starts with a D. Just pentagrams and all that.
But we ended up like we stayed there till like it was almost like the sun was going down. And we had our liaison with us, and I got out of the vehicle because we were parked in the woods, and I started doing these tree knocks, and I was getting out of the car to go do a tree knock, and the Native American guy goes, "Hey, what are you doing, dude?" I said, "I'm gonna go do a tree knock," and Steven went with me, because he didn't want nothing to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I did a tree knock, I did a yell, and like 10 seconds later, I got a tree knock and a yell back. And they were going, hey, I think we need to go.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
And so, we weren't from that area, so we just did whatever that guy wanted us to do.
What was funny was Todd was just like, he was behind the wheel. He's like, and he looked like he had like his fingers on the keys too, like to get it started.
Get out of there.
Just
yeah.
in case.
So.
But yeah, that is something that I don't know if can he go to that school? Like I think that's
we would probably have to get permission. I mean,
it's like right across the street from that area where we're at.
Yeah,
and we had to have the liaison with us. And
I don't know. It's been over 15 years since we've been there, so I don't know. I don't even know the same people is probably going to be there, but
that's cool. That's cool.
So I got a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
So what is the difference between Bigfoot and Sasquatch?
Sasquatch is a name of a Bigfoot. The name of the Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest. I forgot the name of the group that did it. The original name is Sasquatch, and it was a Native American people that were north of the Washington State, right on the Pacific. Where were they? I forgot the name of them. Osage, I think Osage is the name of the tribe there, and that's the name of Sasquatch.
Okay.
And there was a guy that was, I guess he was a government guy that was, I guess, brokering like a piece of stuff, and so he came up with he said the name Sasquatch, and so that's the name of Sasquatch.
Okay.
And so each state, and each like different Native American people have different names for Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. But that's just one thing that it's a coin phrase that caught on, and it's like calling every baseball fan a Yankee fan because they're the most popular one, right?
Sure. Okay.
So that's what it is. Sasquatch. It's just a name of
Texas. We don't have like an actual name.
Caddo and Choctaw do not have names for
other than just Bigfoot because Florida has skunk ape.
Yeah.
Missouri is
Momo. But there's different Native American names that I can't pronounce. So
yeah.
It's just so
Nunk to Nunk. There's that one too. I just realized Texas doesn't really have.
Yeah, because I've talked to elders. I talked to cattle elders, and I've asked them, I said, what's the name for Bigfoot? And they go, we don't have one. It's just...
No, yeah, Texas is just like, we're just going to not make things complicated.
We're gonna,
Bigfoot.
we're just gonna.
We don't want to make things more complicated.
I mean, because like I think one of the elders told me that he believes that his ancestors came from underground, the earth. And when they came from the underground, they were told not to look back. And if they look back, then they believe that was the whatever was following them, coming out was the Bigfoot. And so they didn't really have a name for it. So I thought it was interesting, but yeah. So
definitely something. But yeah, I mean, I know just seeing your videos, and I know the cemetery one would be that you would want to definitely check out, Robbie, and then the school in Contra was the only thing. I'm like, I looked at that. I'm like, yeah, something that he would probably want to go check out because you're just definitely. Like the. I don't know what it is about San Antonio people. They're just like not scared of anything.
Yeah,
at all, and I don't know what it is. Something.
Bring
in the
water.
I just wish you guys weren't so far away. So that's what I wish.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another thing. You said you're in Dallas. I don't know if the Googals told you, but me and Googals are going to be in Cleburne.
Cleburne, yeah. They've made it pretty clear they want us in Cleburne.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to be there?
I'm aiming to be there. Yeah. I'm going to take my H2N Zoom and I'm going to try to interview people there. Mm-hmm. So I got like a little handheld and I got a little camera stand I was going to put it on and just like walk around and just ask people for stories. So
Saturday I have friend's kid's birthday party I have to go to, and then after that I guess me and Robert will try to head down there Saturday night because it's only like an hour away.
Yeah,
maybe?
Yeah, I think so. It's like south of. Southwest of Fort Worth. So,
and then definitely Sunday if they're doing it still Sunday. I think
they might be closing up on Sunday, but they'll start shutting down the thing. Right, Robbie? They usually do that.
Yeah, because Sunday morning once I wake up, I'm getting ready and I'm hightailing it back home because I'm 4.5 hours from there. So
yeah.
Just want to knock that drive out.
Gotta go. I guess take them out for breakfast at least.
Yeah, and
that'd be cool. But I'm gonna be there all weekend. I'm actually taking off work Friday just to get there early. But that's just to knock out a couple things. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are staying, we can definitely do breakfast and hang out, stuff like that. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you bring your drone.
I know, so Robbie can.
Definitely
inspect it. So
make sure it works.
Yeah.
Cool.
Say, man, I really appreciate you coming on. I like I said, you've made us. We're like fans for life now, and we're gonna.
Dude, I'm fans of y'all's too. Yeah, I'm gonna start. I mean, do y'all have some videos on YouTube I can watch? And so I've seen your YouTube channel. I've seen your YouTube channel, but I didn't get to go through all of them, and I don't know if I missed a video of maybe you guys going on a hunt or something.
No, we kind of did this podcast after we did all that stuff, because we did that stuff because whenever I was doing it, I was with a group, and I was with the TBRC, the Texas Bigfoot Research Center, and I wasn't allowed to do any of that. I wasn't allowed to document stuff on my own and put it out. Okay. So I left that group. And so right now, we don't have anything in the field. So right now, all our stuff is just like interviews and just us talking. But
right on. Hey, you're networking.
I post stuff on YouTube, but it's just there's no video to it. It's just audio. It's just like
it's all good.
Yeah,
I mean, you're keeping active though. People could still keep up to date with that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Because we're just like you. We're on everything. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, Apple.
Oh wow,
we're on everything. So
YouTube, TikTok.
I made a Twitch, but I don't even know why I did it. I just made one to make one.
I did too. I did too. So
that's a good thing right there because I think I told this to the Googals as well about there's not enough. Twitch is great because Twitch is not only just for video games. People go on there just to stream live of reading a book or watching a movie. Right. And I was telling the Google guys, I was like, you should do Twitch on there and just talk about equipment. Talk about equipment for people who want to like a Q&A, like people start watching and be like, what's your favorite, equipment you like to use, or what favorite brand, or, stuff like that. And then like, I hardly see that. So I think you and Go Gals could,
I think especially especially Robbie stuff. It would probably take off pretty good there.
Yeah. Talking about drones and, like you said, like, what was the one that you told us about? The
DJI.
That one. Like, talk about that, because there's a lot of people on. They don't know how to. And I don't.
Yeah,
sure.
I've actually thought about doing like some TikTok, like a little short TikTok. I've been thinking about doing that, like with the REM pod, or somebody doesn't know how to use a spirit box, which some people don't. Some people don't even understand how to fully use a REM pod, just to turn it off and on, and it's supposed to make noise, which there's more to it than that. But yeah, no, I've thought about doing that, doing like little how-tos, or I've even thought about like what do you pack in your abandoned exploration backpack?
There you go.
Stuff like that, I've thought about. I just never got around to doing it. I'm always editing, but I should make with these other long videos, like, because when it comes to editing, I can edit a abandoned exploration video in maybe 2 days, but when it comes to a paranormal video, I'm using like 5-6 cameras, and that could take me like almost 2 weeks, and oh my God, it's so draining because you have to watch literally every second of every camera.
That is tough.
And then especially like do something like that. Like, what if you run into the homeless and stuff? Because not many people are not prepared for that.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do if you run into homeless?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Robbie, you could be doing like a video on a drone, and who knows, you may get sponsored by them.
Yep.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
I guess what, like you tag them or something, right?
Yeah,
you make a video
you tag them and they say, "Hey, man, we're going to send you like the latest version."
The latest version, test it out, and then do a video. If you could do a video of reviewing it,
and then you say to him, Robbie, "Send me the infrared."
Yeah, send me the infrared one.
So I'm gonna, after every video, I'm just gonna be like, and it would really be nice to do a video on infrared one day. And after every video, I'm gonna say the same thing until they get the hint.
Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of people do that. A lot of people on Twitch do that when they try to get sponsored by G Fuel or something like that. They always say that in the beginning of their Twitch stream, and they're like after, like, man, make sure you get your G Fuel, and I'm drinking mine. What about you? What's your favorite? That's how they brand it, man.
Yeah,
that's how they do it.
Robbie, how does Bigfoot Club listeners find your material?
You can find me pretty much on every platform, most every platform, like your basic Facebook, which I post almost daily on, mostly Facebook, because I share all my platforms on just Facebook. So YouTube, that's where I post most of my main videos, my lengthy videos. If you want to have a long night of just watching a good lengthy video of paranormal and stuff like that, or abandoned, check out my YouTube channel. And also TikTok. I got into the TikTok thing. It seems to be taking off decently. So I've shortened up some of my videos, and I got some other little places that I walk through. And, whether I'm traveling, I always just kind of post. So I'm pretty active on TikTok. And then, of course, Instagram, if you want to see my best photos, and Twitter, which I never ever use, but it's there. And that's really about it.
So they can just go in and type in Unknown Ventures?
On every platform?
Unknown Ventures. Unknown Ventures. It's the same under every single thing. It's
I love that. I love
that. Makes it easy.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's the same thing we do, because I think my buddy made Bigfoot Club 1 in Facebook, and I go, you know what? I'm just gonna have to keep that. So I keep it on every platform, so that way people can find us easier. So.
Oh, there you go.
Because we are the number one. We are number one. There can only be one.
Well, Robbie, thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. I think I can do something with this audio here.
Yeah, is it 1 minute and 7 seconds?
Yeah, it's 1 minute and 7 seconds. We always say that it's an hour. It's an hour.
Yeah,
and 7 minutes. But
it's like, wait, what?
All right.
But man,
what just happened?
We would love for you to come back on, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. We should definitely do that. And sometimes I go live on my Facebook page. So maybe you guys can join me for a live.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I sent you a friend request too.
Okay.
And then
I'm friends with him already.
I know, man. You're ahead of the game, man. Yeah, but no, definitely when we go to, I guess when we meet up in Cleveland, we'll do some breakfast or something. I don't know.
Yeah, some chorizo.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Chorizo and eggs or something.
Yeah, chorizo and eggs, man.
There we go.
I'm a breakfast fanatic, man.
All right, Robbie.
Man,
thanks for coming on, and we're gonna call it a night.
Thank you guys for having me on. This was awesome. It was great talking to you both, and I can't wait to see you guys next week.
Woohoo! Alrighty, man.
You have a good night.
Good night.
All right, you too. Take care.